Today I'm going to talk about the safety of women in India because I have been asked by many people to talk about this. It's a very raging topic, and we know that there have been the reports of women harassment happening from the different parts of the country. It is not just harassment, tasing, in fact, rapes, molestations, and so many things are happening to the women these days. Now, the question is that who is responsible for rising cases of this kind of harassment? And particularly, why is it that women do not find themselves safe in India? Well, I believe that there is definitely some problem with the society because the society is not rising completely against such kind of the violence. The whole society needs to stand up and then actually protest against the violence that's happening against the women, be it the domestic violence or be it the street violence. The fact is that the women is facing violence at every nook and corner, at every step of the life. Even in the offices, schools, colleges, or different workplaces, women do not find themselves safe. And for this very particular reason, most of the women also have left the jobs halfway. Some people do not send their daughters to the schools and colleges because they fear that there is going to be women harassment taking place. And the kinds of incidents of violence against the women in the recent past have surely jolted the conscience of the society. But then, is society doing enough? No. I believe that the society as a whole must stand up and should make it a point that they will not tolerate any kind of the violence like the women. Now, is it only the men who are responsible for such kind of the violence? Well, I don't think that it is only the men who should be blamed. Sometimes women is also the enemy of women. And when you talk about the different kinds of the violence is happening, particularly in the context of domestic violence, you find that there are women who actually plot against the women. They go on committing atrocities against the women. Daughters-in-law are always subjected to harassment. They are not allowed that free life. And for this very reason, I believe that as far as this harassment of the women is concerned, it is on the rise. Now, when the woman is not safe at home, she is not safe even with the brothers and sisters, with the brothers and their fathers. And if she is not safe with the husband and with the in-laws, then where else she is going to find herself safe? So why is it happening? Is it happening of late, or it has been there going on since ages? Well, these cases have been going on since age. Dowry related cases have been there, and there have been also the cases where we see that the women has always been found to be an easy prey, and she has also been the object of ridicule in many cases. So it is the society that has to be held responsible and that should blame itself. Because I believe that if the society as a whole stands up and decides to protect the dignity and honor of the women, I'm sure nobody will have the courage to go on doing anything harmful against the women. Women themselves must stand up. At home, it is the mother-in-law, or it is the sister-in-law, or it is the daughter-in-law, or it is the daughters or sisters. They should also rise in protest if they see any kind of the violence happening against any member of their own, that is the female or anybody else for that matter of fact. If they don't speak up, then nobody is going to speak up for themselves. Whether it is going to be there in the streets or lanes or by lanes of the cities or in the different corners of the country, the fact is that women must know how to defend themselves. They must stand up. They must not allow any kind of bullying. They must know how to rise and defend themselves. Because gone are the days when they would always call themselves to be helpless and hopeless. But now today, the woman is very strong. She is dynamic. She knows how to face these brutes in the streets and on the roads. She must be trained how to actually deal with this kind of the violence there. And if she is not trained that way, then tomorrow she is going to suffer badly. The question is not that it is any woman. It can be the question of your sister, your daughter, my sister, my daughter, anybody for that matter of fact. So if we do not speak up, if we do not talk about the violence against the women happening, then surely who is going to talk about it? Then nobody is going to take us seriously. There are cases where women have been tortured, they have been burned to death. In the recent past, there have been also cases where women has also been responsible for the murders of so many men, and that too for the sake of their own love and all that. So I believe that the women have also to understand that they have also the responsibility, and they have not to be anywhere the partner of the crime. And the crimes that are happening against the women these days, we find that somehow, somewhere or the other, it is the woman also who is found to be a partner in crime, who is involved in such kind of crime. So if women is now involved in crimes, you can see what is going to be the sorry state of affairs of the state, this society. So women have to understand that ultimately it is they and they only who have to actually stand up. I always say that the misery you're suffering today is of your own doing, and that very thing for that it has to be done by you alone, and done by you alone. So if today you are suffering, you have to get out of it. Nobody is going to come to your aid unless you stand up, because if you cannot speak up, if you do not raise voice, if you do not stand up, then who else is going to be there standing up with you? So it is better that you speak up, raise your voice, never allow injustices to happen, never allow atrocities to take place. Even if you find any particular woman with whom you do not have any kind of the relationship there, you must speak up, because if it is her turn today, it may be your turn tomorrow. So the violence there in the country, women, the violence against the women is definitely increasing, but it can be stopped only with the cooperation of both men and women. The whole society has to stand up, and it has to say enough is enough. It should take upon itself to make sure that there is going to be an end to the violence. We cannot depend upon the policing, state policing every now and then, because every policeman cannot be there in every home, in every corner, in every nook, in every street. It is the society as a whole that has to guard itself against the atrocities happening against the women, and if we do so, I am sure the atrocities against the women will end one day.